Techne Harrier, reference number 368. Kind of cool looking, huh? Techne, don't really know. So you can see the spelling here. Let me get the hands out of the way. Techne. So we'll see on the case back. It's designed in Switzerland. Take a stab at where it's made. China, nutnfancy. That's correct. Yeah, so they try to put the Swiss or Swiss made on a lot of these watches, but they're often made in China, which I don't care. I mean, the Chinese watches are in some ways dominating the Swiss watch industry from what I'm seeing. I mean, in the German watch industry, I mean, I have a GPW right here, a quartz one. It's totally busted. That's an expensive German watch that I bought, and it's not the battery. Huh. Fine German craftsmanship, failing. Haven't had that problem with a Chinese-made watch yet. This watch too, its crown pulled off. I had to super glue it. Oh! What? Yeah, I may have some pictures. If I can find them, I'll show you. But pulled off, I mean, just setting it and just pulled right out. I was like, what the heck? I thought the watch was ruined, but it was actually an easy fix. There you go. So fine Swiss workmanship. Oh wait, made in China, whatever. So let's talk about variations. I don't really remember seeing other colorations of the Techne Harrier. There might be some. I really like this one, the black and the very light OD coloration on the leather strap. A very vintage style of strap. So don't know about the variations. I do like this. I don't know if it's still being made. Let's talk about size and weight. It is a carbon fiber reinforced case. Not aluminum, not stainless steel, not titanium. 1.8 ounces, dudes. Sizing is in the ballpark for a lot of guys. I do like bigger. 42 millimeters across, 11 millimeters in thickness, 50 millimeters in their downturn lugs. So the lugs angle down aggressively, I think. And so for smaller wrists, 6.5-inch wrists, this would actually be a perfect watch for you guys. It really would. Another reason I went out looking for a pilot watch, a kind of a cool, different watch than the Aviate brands that Aviate brand and Momentum brand that I've reviewed. My price range as somewhat of a watch reviewer is $300 or below. I generally don't go above that because we have like a bazillion watches at those price points, which are phenomenal, incredible. So looks are cool. Let's investigate the face, shall we? You may have found or just figured out this is a GMT watch, so it has an additional hours hand. That is the green pointer. And the periphery shows 24-hour scale. That one is there for the GMT hand. So let me go half, crown position, we'll turn it. And so remember, the GMT hand will slave to this hours hand, but it'll just show whatever time zone you want. So if it's 12 noon, it's a little bit confusing if you haven't used a GMT hand before. 12 noon would be right here. Okay, so there's 1 p.m., 2 p.m., and so it'll slave a little bit differently. It looks really cool, and it gives the Techne Harrier a very altimeter aesthetic, along with a cross-hatching on the white date window, which is actually quite legible. That is cool. I like that. And notice it's got a little up arrow right there. That's a pilot homage too, so like you're climbing type thing. If you can see it next to the cross hatching there. We do have some lume on that GMT hand, which is cool. One thing I will say is it's a little bit cluttered. So with the GMT hand and this very small 30 millimeter face, so this is a small face, a small effective face. It's a relatively small watch, I think, because we have a big chapter ring with hours markings, so the actual time area, which is slightly annoying to me, is small. I'm just leveling with you guys. I'll show you some other options which I like a lot better, just my mileage. So a little bit cluttered with the GMT hand. It might clutter up the legibility just a bit. That with the hollow hands as well. They are Flieger style, but they're hollow at the base. They have good lume on them. We'll take a look at it before the video ends. White seconds hand with black end on it. Counterbalance, I should say. A little bit busy on the markings too. So it's like dual markings. I'm not really sure why. So we've got these markings here, which are clean and precise, easy to read. We've got Arabic numerals, 12, 9, 6 o'clock position. All that's thumbs up. I love that. But then we have a repetition of markings on the inner. I don't know if that's in reference to the GMT functionality, but it's just a bit much. It's a little bit noisy for me. Kind of a dished out hand though. I mean, that's a good look right there. It looks cool. It presents very technical. Again, very aircrafty. Kind of like Mr. F-14 in the background. It's cool. Sapphire crystal too. For this price point, that's pretty excellent. And I detect very little reflections coming off of it, in contrast to some other watches I brought to the table with so-called AR coating on them. But whatever crystal they put on there, sapphire, they did a great job. Simple, basic, utilitarian construction on the case too. Signed crown, non-screw-in, Flieger style. And then let's look at the screw-in case back. I like the writing on it. It's very cool. I have no problems with that. It's very precise. Techne Harrier Carbonium. Is that what it says? That's kind of a cool phrase. Not sure what it means, but it sounds technical. What do you think, Maverick? And then reference number right here, and then it also has a 6101. It is a Swiss Ronda 515 quartz movement. If you care, I don't. I don't really care what quartz movement. And for that matter, I don't really care about the automatic movements that much. I'm not a neurologist. You know, I never will be. I'm not really obsessing about the particular calibers. I just want reliability. Does it work? Can I hack with it? If the answer is yeah, I'm like, okay, cool. And I don't want to pay like $1,000 for it. That's just me. So here we go again. Designed in Switzerland. No, notice it does not say made in China. I suspect that's where it's made. I'm not positive. Has an ISO writing on there. That's cool, 2281. It's showing by my specs 100 meters of water resistance. Not that you'd ever dive with this watch. Screw-in case back. Again, I like that. Now, a criticism. I think if you're going to go for a pilot aesthetic, Aviate has really set the bar for the price point. And I'm going to give you another watch that I have reviewed actually. This is incidentally also called a Hawker Harrier. It's by Aviate, the brand. It is Series 4045. Look at this case back, dudes. Look at the polish. So this is a Chinese produced watch, and we're talking quality levels that are insane. This watch is less expensive than this one too. So this is like $100 watch is what we paid for it. Quartz as well. So it's a Miyota quartz, 4045. Look at that detail. So to me, it seems like anything associated with German engineering, Swiss engineering, they just kind of are sitting on their laurels and they're not delivering a higher value to their customers. This is a good representation of it. I know this is probably Chinese made too, but they're kind of selling it and playing up on its Swiss relationship, and it is more expensive. Just saying. This is a screw-in case back as well. And then look at the faces. Remember I was talking about the effective face? Look at the 4045 Aviate. Big, clean face. Look, we just have one row of indices on the chapter ring. We also have an altimeter aesthetic, this time in yellow crosshatched. I talked about that. We have a turbine face, a lot more detail. We have raised, applied indices and markers, Arabic numerals all the way around. Flieger hands, really cool seconds hand there with a pilot tip on it. Man, that is a watch right there. For the money, holy cow. Not a sapphire crystal, so I had to put on my watch crystal protector on here. No big deal. Thin bezel, so we have a wide effective face. Decent lume. I do think the lume on the Techne blows this one away. Yeah, it's really good lume on this one. It's a good representation though, difference. Notice also too, and I've said this in a lot of WRVs, if you have a watch with a dark colored case, in this case black, carbon fiber, versus stainless steel, this one will always look bigger. So the black always shrinks to watch. So if you're after that, that's what you need to get. That's what you need to get. 20 millimeter lugs, which I have no problem with. That's a very Fliegerish width of a watch strap. And man, the strap is really good. I would say the Aviates are as well. They are phenomenal. So it's equal quality. We've got heavy stitching, good quality, waxed leather, lined. It's branded. 2 keepers. Signed clasp in black PVD. I think this is stainless as well. This is a really nice strap. Though I detect a very slight taper, I'm generally liking more and more just straight straps. Just me. I know, I'm crazy that way. Let's see what it looks like on my wrist. Again, I have 7.5-inch wrists. I'm finding, again, that's a little bit bigger than a lot of guys. I hear a lot of guys with 6 3/4, 6.5-inch wrist. That looks actually pretty good, doesn't it? The Techne Harrier. It's funny, it looks bigger in the camera. In life, when I wear it, it seems a little bit small to me. Just a little bit. And with the hands that I talked about, and the GMT complexity, that complication, as far as legibility, I'm not a huge fan. I'm not going to lie to you. Just too many markings, hands are too small. Case, I can actually live with 42mm case, especially with a Flieger style watch where the bezel is thin. Granted, we do have this chapter ring, which I discussed already. Again, quartz movement. I did have to replace the battery on this. I've had this for well over a year. Either I'm going to sell it or I'm just going to give it away to TMP, which I've been doing more and more because we got to clear watches out, make room for some more. Can't keep them all. Unless it's an exceptional cast member. Like this is a great cast member because it's kind of throw it on there and kind of see some difference. Value too, man. Super value. Okay, competitive options. Guys always love it if I make time for this in the review. I'll do just a little bit of, you saw this one. This is the AV8. You just can't go wrong with any of the AV8 watches. They are excellent for the money. This is a 4045, I forget the actual one. Go watch the review on that. I think I covered that one. Here's a one we just got not too long ago. It's a 4053 AV8 Hawk or Hurricane in blue. Again, we see the attention to detail, high polished case back, quartz Miyota movement. Dang, that's cool looking. And look at this face. Oh my goodness, that is so cool. Highly legible, and yet it has just the right amount of complications to me. So we have actually contrasted numerals here, almost a cream coloration, a pink coloration on the 5, 7, and 9, and then white. They're applied, they're three-dimensional. And again, we have a narrow bezel, wider effective face. I think this one is like, oh geez, 43, I want to say. 42.5-ish, around there. So it's very similar to the size of the Techne. Let's compare these two against each other. This is really a good representation of the legibility issue that I'm talking about. A very good representation. So to me, this is so much more legible than that. And honestly, I'm going to say it first in this review, I'm getting to the point where I just don't like GMT watches. I never use that second hand. I'm sorry, the GMT hand. I won't. Because I'm wearing a smartwatch on the other wrist and I can pop it into whatever time zone functionality I want. I mean, on my Apple Watch, I'll have like 3 time zones running on the bottom if and when I need that functionality. Again, here is another, I'm really in the AV8 product, I don't know why, Lancaster Bomber. This is a 4020 series. Oh my goodness, look at that case back. I think I did review this still. Sorry, that's not focusing. Focus, focus, focus. There we go. Look at that, dudes. Sick. Cyclops date window. Camouflage. Better hands. Taper strap. I could probably do without that, but really good leather quality. This is more of a traditional Flieger style watch, so this is more modernistic, kind of like tying into the Jet age, this Harrier age. I would say as far as the Harrier goes, I think this does a good job thematically to tie into that. I like it. And I do have a Momentum watch here. It's a Flatline 42. And I will show it to you in this coloration. You've seen it before. Look at that. We'll compare that against the Techne Harrier 368. Boy, doesn't that look so much bigger? It's actually the same size. This is a 42mm watch as well, if I remember right. Navy blue strap, contrasted white stitching. We got black stitching on the Techne Harrier. There you go. This is a quartz too. Sapphire crystal. Oh yeah, that was an upgrade we got on it. It doesn't normally come with it. But here we go. The Momentum has a very plain case back as well. Flatline 42. Oh, of course it's 42. It's in the name. Anyways, wrapping it up. F14 is pissed. Hey, maybe next year you can do better at the air show. Just kidding, man. Just kidding. Techne Harrier is a cool watch. I talked about my reservations on it. I'll stand by those. Look below. I may remember to give you a likability scale on it. But it's going up against some really stiff competition. Momentum, AV8, Citizen for that matter. Do I have a Citizen watch? What do you know? I do. I got the Chandler BM8478 reviewed on the B channel. Oh, that's a cool watch. And this is solar powered, dudes. That's an EcoDrive solar powered watch. What's the size on it? Did I write it? 44, 11, 48. It doesn't seem like a 44 millimeter watch, does it? It almost looks like these are the same size, but this is a 44 millimeter cross. Really nice strap on that. Oh, I love that strap on that Citizen. Oh my gosh, the Chandler, and the coloration is perfect. The hands are perfect. Again, look at that. Let's see what I'm saying? Like the hands, how much noise there is, and look at the Chandler, the Citizen, how quick you can pick that time up. And yet it has the Pilot Flieger style. And between the modern Flieger style and you know, maybe traditional World War II style, I kind of lean towards the World War II currently, subject to change. There is one exception, an AV8 watch I'm going to review. Keep watching, and I love how they did that one. Got to wrap it up. Air show is over. Salute to our Navy bros for sure, as Maverick and Goose fly off into the sunset with the gear extended. Apparently they got distracted.